Today I'm going to be just doing a fun little stream and reacting to some marriage advice from Abby Shapiro on how to make your wife happier. Um, just a disclaimer. I'm looking at this from the perspective of a person who has a trans wife who transitioned after she and I got married. She came out after we got married. Um, And so don't necessarily call myself a husband. And I know that this is geared towards cishet men who are married to cishet women. So this is going to be a little bit like tongue in cheek, and it's going to be just like a little bit funny because I think that um, maybe Abby doesn't realize that there are people in the world that are different than her, but we'll see. Maybe she does. I don't know. I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. Another disclaimer before we get started, um, just like really quick. Nobody is required to adhere to gender roles or gender norms ever. Okay. So if you want to, that's cool. If you don't want to, that's also cool. Um, and if you just want to like disregard gender norms as a whole, that's cool too. It doesn't matter. You make your own personal choice for what works for you in your life. And it shouldn't be based on what society calls gender norms, in my opinion. All right. Okay. Let's see. We can get this up. Hey, you're so very ready for this. Well, this one is specifically on how to be a better husband. So I think this is more maybe geared toward, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Hello, Classic Crew, and welcome to today's video where we're
Thank
going to be
you.
talking about 5 ways to be a better husband. So I recently did a video on my channel all about 5 ways to be a better wife. And I said in that
Okay,
video,
we can do that
this
one
isn't
next.
just for
But,
women, this is for men and women, that both
well, put it
partners
on the
in a
list.
marriage have to be really invested in being the best partner that they can to their spouse, because that's the only way that a marriage stays fresh, stays healthy, is when both partners are really taking the time to be as good of a partner as they can and keep.
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Side note, I love her earrings. They remind me of time turners. Yes, yes, you should inform him on how he's meant to be a better husband after watching this. Or not. I don't know. I mean, I brought note paper, so like like I said, I agree with her that like it needs to be worked on from both sides. Like absolutely. It's not like a one side does everything. So I like that. I like that she said that.
Keeping the other person happy. You constantly have to be checking in with each other and doing your best to be the best husband or wife.
Absolutely. I always say communication is key. And so like my spouse sometimes will like laugh at like how many times I tell them that like I love you. Like, are you okay? And sometimes she will get she's on HRT, so like she'll sometimes get like a little bit like mood swings, and I don't know if it's like her HRT or if I did something that upset her. Sometimes she doesn't know. And I'll just like sometimes if she seems a little bit moody, I'll be like, "Did I do something to upset you?" And sometimes it's just like she's in a grumpy mood or whatever. But like just those little check-ins and stuff like absolutely help. I agree with her on that. Oh no, a terrible person says something I agree with. I know. It does happen on occasion though. It does happen.
So I'm really excited to share these 5 ways for you to be a better husband.
All
So
right,
let's get into it.
let's
So
do it.
number 1 is sort of a clever life hack, but it also is something that's going to make you a better husband. And that is to constantly be cleaning up after yourself and just living in a more cleanly way.
I agree with this. I think in a lot of like traditional marriages and stuff, it's like left on the wife to do all the cleaning. Now, I will say my wife does do the majority of the cleaning. She is a tidy, tidy person, and I'm a little bit of a dirty bird. But like, I absolutely will find myself just like, okay, I'm going to tidy up because I know that it makes it easier for her to clean and that sort of thing. Again, I agree with her. So, Porknacia said, classically, Abby like says some things that always hit home and then goes into something nope. Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for like the U-turn where it's like, wait, wait. We'll see if it's coming.
So, a lot of men, it's not that they don't help with the chores, it's that
Also, I should clarify, I consider myself like non-binary, genderqueer. Um, so I wouldn't say that I like fit in like the women's category or the men's category. I always just say like spouse as opposed to husband or wife. But obviously, like this advice isn't meant for me, but I'm just having fun listening to it anyway.
they let the house build up in a mess. They don't really
Don't do that.
realize that if they don't put their dishes in the sink or if they take off their jacket and throw it over.
This goes for like both genders though. Like if you're the person in the relationship that's like maybe a little bit of the dirty bird, that's me. Like it doesn't matter what your gender is. Just like maybe try to be like aware of it and like tidy up for the other person. Even if like if you were more of a dirty bird when you were single and you were okay with it, but like your spouse likes things tidier, like take them into account, in my opinion. Yes, this is Jen. Yes, this is Ben's sister. She goes by classically Abby, and I think she has a different last name now because she is married. But yeah, in case you couldn't tell by looking at her, this is Ben Shapiro's sister.
A chair.
She's also an opera singer, which is amazing to me. She's also adorable. I love this background. It's so cute.
Doesn't really help with the chores because you're going to have to go back later and put it away.
Oh, what did
And
she say?
it
I missed
doesn't
something.
really dishes in the sink or if they take off their jacket and throw it over a chair, it doesn't really help with the chores because you're going to have to go back later and put it away.
My mom always says, "Put it away once." If you guys have, if you guys have seen my Friday streams, like you see my mom, and like she does a lot of times have like really practical advice, and she'll say that like put it away once. Don't like throw it over the back of the chair where you have to go back later and then pick it up and put it in the closet. Just like put it away. Now, I really suck at doing dishes. Like I just suck at it, and like I don't do a good job of it. I you guys have heard me talk about like my like noodle hands, and I'll break dishes and stuff like that. So my wife does all of the dishes for the most part. Like we have like I'll rinse stuff out or like if there's like a sauce on the plate or whatever, you know. Um, but I always like try to make it really easy for her to do the dishes as opposed to like just like throwing it and like letting it pile up in the sink. I get what she's saying about like don't just let the dishes pile up in the sink. I do put the dishes in the sink, but I like rinse them or whatever first because if I'm the one who's doing the dishes will get broken or not done very well.
And the house will start to build up in a mess if you don't kind of keep track of these things. So, for you to be a better husband and to help out your wife by not only helping with the chores, but many women, not all women, but many women are more clean than men. And so they will not
Again, I like that she said many women and not all women.
like living in a dirty house. So, even if you are
I don't necessarily think that that's tied to gender at all, though. Like, I've seen men that are like super tidy. Yeah, I've probably met more men that are super tidy than women. I lived in a dorm with women, and oh my gosh, women can be so gross.
helping with the
Just saying.
chores, if you're kind of leaving it all to the weekend, for example, and you're not really helping to keep the house clean during the week just by living more cleanly, then it can be hard to kind of live in because the house is constantly messy. So, what this comes down to is just sort of easily cleaning up after yourself. If you eat a snack, whatever you take out, put away. Put the dishes in the sink. If you take off your shoes at the front door, don't throw them everywhere. Even if you are constantly helping with the chores, if you wash
I
the
am agreeing
dishes
with
or
you
you
so far.
vacuum, if you don't take care of those things regularly and you kind of let those things build up, it is going to lead to a big mess that both of you
I don't touch the vacuum cleaner unless it's to change the bag. I'm the one who's in charge of the bag. She lets me know when it's full. I change out the bag. I do the take it out in the trash and everything because I'm the one who takes out the trash. Um, Besides that, though, I actually get really bad anxiety from the sound of the vacuum cleaner. I know that sounds like really ridiculous, but It just like literally gives me anxiety. So like even when it's like um, when I was working in our sunroom, I'm redoing the floors out there. So there were like some areas where like there was debris. I had like swept it and mopped it and everything, but it took a while. So there was like some debris built up on like the areas where I needed to put new flooring. And so I like swept it up into a little pile and I was like, hey, sweetie, will you come out here and vacuum this just like for 5 seconds because I don't want to like sweep it'll like, get all over the primer and stuff if I sweep it, but if you can just vacuum it really quick. And like she did that for me. But I think it's like a give and take.
You are going to have to clean. And so, you being the kind of man who kind of has developed a more clean outlook and starts to put things away more. And just as you are living, you are also being clean, if that makes sense. As you
Yeah.
are eating off a plate, you're also going to put that plate in the dishwasher. And it doesn't take any time for you to do these things. It's just something that, if you put into practice, will create a better living situation for both of you. One,
I agree. It takes 5 seconds. A lot of these things, it literally just takes 5 seconds.
because the house is cleaner generally, and second, because your wife, if she's the one cleaning, won't have to clean up after your messes as often. And so
Agree.
those kinds of things will really make
Or her
the
husband.
two of you
Both
happier
ways.
as a team, is if the house is just in a better state more of the time.
Have you ever been free
Dang it, I went
to
through this and I
discover
thought I got all
what you're
that.
capable of?
Oh well. I guess not.
When it comes to cheese slices, choose the one that's 100% real, natural cheese.
Sorry, guys.
Sargento.
And you being a cleanlier person will reflect on the state of your home. Number 2 is listen to your
I let it play through like before I watch it. I just like leave it on my desktop and like let it play through on mute so that like hopefully it'll play through all the ads, but apparently it did not. So I don't know if there's more coming or not.
wife's concerns without immediately arguing with them. It all comes down to communication. A lot of the time, your wife will come to you with a problem, and it's not even about you. It might just be about something that's upsetting her. And it's easy to get your kind of hackles up and feel like she's nagging. It may be just that she's stressed about bills. It could even be that, or it could be something that is a little bit more about your behavior and your relationship.
Again, I agree with this, but it goes both ways. Like that's true for husbands as well as wives. Like sometimes like husbands just need to like get something off of their chest. Everyone has their thing. You just can't touch the food processor. Yes, yes. Oh, I am luckily not hungry yet. Knock wood. I had my shake this morning, so I'm doing good. But if there's more commercials, I'll try and like disappear them from the screen.
And her really wanting to work on it with you. But if you immediately get your hackles up, then that conversation and that communication is going to break down immediately.
Me and my spouse have actually like kind of a code that we use where we say, "Hey, I'm going to put on my kid gloves here," which is like, "Hey, like let's basically like we make everything like Nerf, right?" So, anything that's like a hit in your ego, maybe just like make it less of a hit in your ego, and then like anything that you're saying that might be harmful, like or might be hurtful, like try and make it a little bit less hurtful with like the way that you say it because it's like we know that it's a situation where it might cause a little bit of a disagreement. So let's say, "Hey, I'm gonna put on my kid gloves here, but I need to talk to you about this thing." And then we kind of talk about it from there. And sometimes we even do, I know this sounds a little bit ridiculous, but like we'll kind of like talk in like a silly voice when we're like talking about something that it's like, I know that we need to like talk about this and it's kind of a serious thing, but like we don't need to like get, like she said, get your hackles up, you know? I totally agree with what she's saying. But again, it can go both ways. Sometimes there are men who need to blow stuff off. And sometimes um, your husband may have like never said anything to you that he needed to like blow off steam about, but like he's got a new job and there's stuff going on and he just needs to talk about it or, whatever. Sometimes you just like need somebody to talk to about stuff. And, you know, not everybody can afford a therapist. That was a joke, though. You should not use your spouse as a therapist. That was a joke. But sometimes you just like want to talk about stuff, and like your spouse is your partner, like they're there. Like that's actually, I always like half jokingly say that that is the reason why I started this channel, is so that I can just like talk about stuff that's like boring to my spouse. But it's true though. It's like it's half true. As long as the silly voice doesn't make it feel like you're making fun of them. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's what I kind of hesitated to say it because I didn't want it to like seem that way, because definitely like it's, we only use like the silly voice in like making fun of ourselves kind of thing, not like making fun of like what the other person did. And it's like, oh, I did this thing and like it was silly of me. So like I'll use like a silly voice to like, it's and or it's like maybe it's silly of me to like take it so seriously, or that kind of thing. But yes, thank you. Trail of debris, thank you for that comment. I appreciate that.
And it's so easy to read a wife's intentions as nagging, as opposed to realizing that she really
Or
is trying
anyone's.
to work with you to make the marriage better. Now, that's not always the case. There are times.
Yeah, it depends on her attitude, and it depends on your attitude, and like sometimes if your spouse is somebody who like you do feel like they're constantly coming at you with like nagging stuff, like you might want to say, "Hey, is this something that I need to fix, or do you just need me to listen?" You can say that. Like that's like we were going back to like this is all about communication. And I agree with her. It's all about communication.
Times when women nag. It happens. I've been there. I've done
Yeah,
it.
we do.
And I know that
Everyone
it is
nags.
something that does happen with many women. But let's assume that the majority of the time that isn't the case. Because your wife loves you and you love her, and that's why the two of you got married. And usually when your wife is coming to you with a problem, it's because she does want to solve it. Now, I'm going to put a caveat there, because I'm not talking about when your wife comes to you with her own problems, because often that's the kind of situation where you should just listen and not offer resolutions, because she may not need a solution to that problem. I'm talking about when she comes to you with a problem that can be solved between the two of you or in your home life or something like that.
And like, yeah, again, you can like ask and address that. Like, hey, is this something that we need to address? Or is this something that you're just like blowing off steam? Like, just let me know.
And trying to just recognize that your wife has come to you for a reason and that the two of you love each other will stop you from going into debate mode and keep those lines of communication open. This is something that I absolutely love about my husband. Jacob is such a good listener.
I agree
if
on.
I come to him with a concern or a problem, he really does
Waiting
take
for
the
that
time
U-turn.
to listen to what I'm saying, and it makes me feel so loved, so heard. It makes our marriage better because I feel like I can
Did you say
really
his name's
come to
Jake?
him with these problems. And I don't ever feel nervous to approach him about anything, because I'm not nervous he's going to get upset or argue with me. I know he'll just listen first so that we can resolve it. And
I love that, poor Ignatius. My husband has to start off with, okay, I just need to vent. And then it turns off the problem solver side of the brain. I love that. That is such a good way to do that. I might steal that. Thank you.
I feel like our marriage is so much better for that. So trusting that when your wife comes to you with a problem, that she's not trying to upset you or bother you most of the time. I won't
Husband, wife, or spouse.
say 100% of the time, but most of the time, she
Or
really
partner.
is trying to resolve an issue. And if you immediately argue with her, then that issue is not going to get resolved. It's so much better for you to listen to your wife with an open mind. Number 3 is,
So listen to your partner with an open mind.
give your wife compliments randomly. If you think something, say it out loud.
I agree. Wow. So far we're like 3 for 3. I wouldn't say necessarily like randomly, but like I was saying, like I tell my wife all the time, like I love you, and it seems kind of random, but it's just like I'm thinking about it. And like she said, if you're thinking about it, like if you're thinking like my wife actually like did kind of have a problem with this like when she first started to transition, and she was like learning to use makeup, and um not that any trans women have to use makeup. That's not what I'm saying. It's just she wanted to, and she was learning to use makeup. And I wasn't like used to seeing her in makeup, and I would like turn around and like she would, have her eyes done or whatever. And I'd say, "Wow, like your eyes look so beautiful." And she would be like, she would literally like blow raspberries at me and be like, "Whatever." I'm just like practicing, but like she's really good at it. She's actually, I would say, better at makeup than I am, like by far. But like just like telling her those things when it's like, oh wow, like you do look really stunning in that, or like that dress does fit you really well, or um, your butt looks cute in that. I do. My wife has a really cute butt, and I do compliment her butt a lot. Just just those types of little things. I agree. Again, I agree with Abby on this. Oh, thanks. I agree. Like give the little compliments to your spouse, to your partner.
In the same way that a man can't read a woman's mind, and often women will hope that a certain scenario will play out in a certain way, but their husband doesn't even know what's happening. If you think that your wife looks beautiful every day and you don't say it, she won't know. And the way that
Agreed. If you don't like tell your spouse like, "Oh, I think I really like that shirt that you wear," or whatever, like I agree, they won't know.
respect, women need love. So hearing your compliments will constantly remind
Partners need love. I feel like I agree with like all of her advice if you just like replace the word husband and wife with spouse.
your wife how much you love her and how much you're attracted to her, two things that are incredibly important for a marriage. And if you're constantly saying, wow, you look really beautiful tonight, or I really appreciate that the house is clean, or I loved dinner.
Okay, I agree with it except for like the constantly, because if you're just saying it constantly, then it just like comes off as like you're just saying it, right? Like to me, I feel like it should be like when that like thought comes to you, you say it. But not just like, let me like find a thing to compliment tonight. Just like let the compliments be natural, but let them be frequent.
Tonight. All of those things will make your wife feel loved and make her feel grateful that she's married to you. She can't read your mind if you don't express your feelings and your love for her, and she's not going to know how often those thoughts do pass through your mind. You want to keep up your wife's morale, because think about it like this. If your wife meets a guy, now I'm going to cut.
Trail of Debris said, I wonder if men actually watch her or if any trad femme conservative women would send this link to the video to their husbands. I think it's more the second that like women will send this to their husbands. That's you think, okay, maybe conservative men do watch her. Do you think it's like conservative men who watch Ben also watch her? And ooh, here's my other thought on it. Do they just like watch her because she's cute? Because like she is really cute. I mean, I definitely enjoy her aesthetic. I'm a little surprised too. Yeah, because my thought was that like it would be mostly women who would watch this and like send it to their husband and be like, "See, these are things that you could be doing," and it would be like a communication tool, which I don't disagree with. But yeah, I'm surprised. Oh wow, the men watch it, and is it church? It's a Christian church because she's Jewish, right? Yeah, she's Jewish. Ben's Jewish. Let's see what she says next.
This off right at the beginning by saying I'm not talking about cheating or anything like that. But if your wife meets a man and he thinks that she's fun and attractive and he's trying to flirt with her, he's going to say all these things because he just met her and he's trying to flirt.
Is this like a man who like doesn't know that? Again, we're assuming this is a cishet man who has met your cishet wife and doesn't know that she's married, I guess. Is that what we're saying? Exactly, trilogy. Yeah, I'm only watching her to like be a better husband to you. It's the only reason. I want to see where this story goes with the other dude. That's like, hey, giving her compliments.
And you don't feel like you have to say those things because you've been married for a while and you think she knows. Think about that, because you should be the same way as a guy who's flirting with her and who just met her, because she might end up hearing that stuff from another person. Is that going to fundamentally change your relationship? No, but it is nice for a woman to feel flirted with. And she doesn't need to be
okay. I thought that this was going to like be like, oh, well then, it's your fault that your wife cheated on you because you weren't, which I think traditionally that only goes the other way, right? So it's like only your fault if your husband cheats on you if you're not giving him enough compliments. But like if your wife cheats on you because you're not giving her enough compliments, that's still her fault, right? They wouldn't admit that it's because she's cute. Yes, yes. No lustful thoughts. No lustful thoughts. And that's why we don't see her from the waist down. That's sarcastic, by the way. Lustful thoughts are natural.
Flirted with by someone new. She can be flirted with by you. So constantly.
Yes, I agree. Flirt with your partner. Flirt with your partner. If you guys are like if you guys were a flirty couple when you got together, stay a flirty couple. Now, there are like asexual aromantic people who like they're not into the flirty thing and like you don't need to like be into the flirty thing if that isn't your thing. But whatever like worked for you guys' relationship to start out with to like really, bring that connection together, like continue to do that. Don't just like let it peter off because like you're committed to each other now. I agree with her on that. I think we're at like 2.5 out of 3.
Saying these lovely things and loving things and compliments and giving her kind of a morale boost is something that's going to keep your marriage really strong and make her know how much you do love her. Number 4 is make the special occasions special. Women love to brag about their husbands and share how much their husbands love them and tell them about how.
If you guys can afford it, like, yes. And also there's things that like you can do to make a special occasion special that isn't expensive, but also like just if your partner enjoys that. I know there are some people that really don't enjoy making much ado about whatever thing. Um I had an ex who was like my favorite holiday was St. Patrick's Day, but they actually really particularly didn't like St. Patrick's Day because their birthday was like 2 days after St. Patrick's Day. So when they were a kid, they never really like their birthday never really felt special because of St. Patrick's Day. Well, I would go out with my friends on St. Patrick's Day, and it was fine that like that partner didn't even like acknowledge it, whatever, so long as I did make much ado about their birthday. So it's like sometimes it's different holidays. Sometimes your partner is different about different things. Maybe their birthday is something that was like really kind of traumatic for them. Or for me, like the like Christmas time was always kind of a stressful time in my household, and same goes for my partner. And we don't really do much for Christmas time. Like that's me and my spouse. We do just like a little bit of stuff, and then actually I send off gifts for like the different sides of my family for them to open when I'm not there. And just because, again, it's an anxiety thing that I don't, to me, it was a really stressful time growing up and it's like anxiety inducing. So I still enjoy sending gifts, but I'm just going to send them with my mom and my mom's going to pass them out and be like, hey, this is from Auntie. So flashbacks to Duggar mini golf moment. Flirt appropriately with the surround. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Watch enough. I don't watch enough of the Duggars. I stopped when it was like 17 kids and counting. So um, I bat my eyelashes and try to be flirty. And my husband asks what I'm plotting. I love that. That's kind of me. Like you guys have heard me mention like I have like a little bit of like some social issues, whatever. And like when I try to be like sexy, my wife is like, "Are are you trying to be sexy? Is that what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can you tell?" Like, she's like, "I can tell because you're weird." Yes, holidays are complicated. Yes.
Oh, my anniversary was amazing. My husband surprised me by taking me out to this great.
I'm the person who always like I remember the dates of all the anniversaries because I'm a numbers person, but I can't like remember what the date is today. So I will probably forget our anniversary. No, actually our anniversary is really easy because it's like on a holiday. Like that was I did it specifically like that, but I'll probably forget it anyway.
Meal, and then he bought me a beautiful necklace, whatever it is. Women love to share and brag about
Some
how
women.
wonderful their husbands
Some
are.
people.
When I say brag, I don't mean in a mean way or anything like that. I just mean that they like to show off the man that they ended up with. And they like to know that their husbands celebrate these.
Again, I feel like if we just substitute the word person or people for men and women and the word spouse for husband and wife, I don't disagree with this. And then just say like some people, some husbands, or some people, some spouses.
These events as much as they do. So making an event of those big occasions, your anniversary, Valentine's Day, your birthdays, whatever it is, the things that you both value, it will make your marriage feel that much stronger. And it doesn't mean that it has to be my description of a fancy event. It means figure out what works for the two of you. If both of you guys love to have picnics, surprise her with a picnic for your anniversary and go out to some beautiful park or beach that the two of you absolutely love.
Guys,
or maybe the both of you love a certain band and they're in town during your anniversary, going to a concert. Not during the pandemic, but generally otherwise. Doing something special.
Or like maybe burn a CD of like your favorite songs by that band. Or okay, maybe that's like a little bit old school. Sorry, I'm showing my age a little bit. Do you do like a playlist now? What do you guys do? I don't know. Me and my spouse have like legit records that we put on. So, but yeah, something like that, where it's like you can have a picnic in your living room, even if the weather isn't great. You can get some cheap candles or whatever and have a little picnic in your living room. Or, get like a cheap bottle of wine and have like a cheap, date night or whatever. I agree with her.
That would really make her feel like you are so excited to celebrate this day with her. But these are the times that you have control over.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, she did indeed acknowledge that there was a pandemic. Now, this was in October of last year. So I think that like we pretty much had to by then. And there won't be any like vax discussion because, that hadn't actually happened yet.
Over the memories that you make. And being romantic is really important.
You guys make food
when you're married
together?
to one person for hopefully
Made
a very,
noodles?
very long time. Your
That's
whole
so
life.
cool.
I'll never forget that the first year that Jacob and I got married, he surprised me for my birthday big time.
5 surprise toy mini brands, now with 40 more of your favorite.
Sorry, I'll disappear that real quick.
Toys made mini. Can you find the super rare gold?
But yeah,
Now.
I don't know if she is
And
vaccinated.
essentially what he did was he got all of his.
She might be. I feel like most. Yeah, I feel like for the most part, her brother does not seem anti-vax, just like anti-vax enforcement. Yes, a way to a person's heart is through their stomach via carbs. A lot of people are like that. Yes, I concur. All right, we'll bring her back. That's cool. Did they go to school together? If she likes surprises, heck yeah. There are a lot of people who don't like surprises. That's good. I'm glad that she was pushing for people to get vaccinated. I got mine. Me and spouse were lucky that we were able to get ours, like within like the first quarter of people in our area. So we've had ours for a while. But yeah, more people need to get it. We actually are unfortunately not even at 50% in our area of people that have gotten even the first one. So please, 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 please go out and get it. Please. if like I can encourage you to do one thing today, it's to make an appointment to get vaccinated, please, if you haven't. Yes, I do like her hand motions. Oh, she's muted. My bad. My bad. She
Very often
surprised.
a
Here, I'll run it
husband
back.
actually
She surprised her husband, or her husband surprised her for her birthday. Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to mute the commercials.
meaningful. And then he surprised me with a few gifts, and it was just a
Okay.
whole plan that he had made up. And that is a memory I will never forget. And it showed me how much he cared about me. I've never gotten a surprise before.
I'm also in the Moderna gang. I have also taken to saying thank Dolly instead of like thank goodness or thank whoever, because I don't know if you guys know this, but like Dolly Parton donated like $1 million to like get the Moderna vax out. So thank you, Dolly.
Like that. So that was just really meaningful. And you can be
For
the
the
same way.
win.
You can do something that your wife will absolutely love and cherish, a memory that she will hold on to forever. Number 5
Agree.
is be kind to your in-laws. Jacob and I are really lucky because the two
I
of
also
us
agree on
have
that.
great relationships with each other's parents, but very often a husband can have
Oh, I'm sorry that you were not a recipient of the Moderna or of the Dolly gift. But are you vaccinated? Can you get vaccinated where you are? I'm agreeing with number so far. I'm like, two of them were like half agrees, and two of them were like strong agrees. So I think it sounds like I might agree with number 5 too. We'll see if she does any like crazy weird U-turns.
tension with his in-laws, and he has a hard time getting lucky because the two of us have great relationships with each other's parents.
That's cool.
But very
Same for me
often
and my
a
spouse.
husband can have tension with his in-laws, and he has a hard time getting along with his wife's parents. And I specifically remember that before I met Jacob,
I mean,
I
it can
dated a
happen.
few guys who did not get along with my family and did not put in an effort to. And it really soured things between us because I absolutely adore my family. And I knew how important it would be for me to
Is her family like really like conservative? Like, I think they're like super conservative, right? So I can see where they would be like not accepting of like his family if his family was like wasn't into that and they didn't feel like putting in the effort, right? You got yours due to community mental health outreach. Awesome. Oh, you have depression, panic disorder. Well, I guess that's like one good thing to come out of that, right? Is that you got vaccinated. Yeah, ours we had to wait until like it wasn't mental health wasn't prioritized. It was actually kind of upsetting. Who's Mara Wilson? Am I is there like
end up with somebody
Ooh. I'm gonna look. Maybe you said in the chat. I'll check back. From the Matilda from the Danny DeVito movie. Aw, they do have a similar look. I never knew that. Is she super conservative? Yeah, she was in Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, and the Miracle on 34th Street remake. I love Miracle on 34th Street, but mostly just the early one. Is she also super conservative? Oh, okay. So probably not. Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome. So it sounds like she's like progressive and maybe a member of the LGBT plus community. That's awesome.
who loved my family and could get along with them because I want my family in my life and I don't want that
Good.
tension between my husband and my parents and my siblings. So when Jacob
I hope that she is like a person who can like she includes Mara and that when she says that like she wants to get along with her family. And like I have family members that are um differently political, I guess you could say. And like I've had to have like conversations with my family where it's like, yeah, like my wife is trans and like she's like I'm going to call her my wife and I'm going to use she her pronouns and that's not going to change, you know. So like my family luckily is loving and understanding and I think that their views are starting to change as a result of that. But I just came to them from a place of like I love my spouse and I want to get along with my family and like whether or not your views change, like I still love her and I still want to get along with you guys. So deal with that how you will.
Came into the picture and he met my parents and he met my family, he slotted in so well. He made
That's
an effort
good,
to
but
get
that's not
along
true
with
for
everybody,
everyone.
and it meant so much to me. And obviously that has worked out for the rest of our marriage because he and my parents love to talk to each other even when
That's
I'm not
cool.
around.
But not everybody
And
has a
I
great
am the
relationship
same
with
way
their
actually with
family.
his parents. I will call his dad, his mom, and just chat with them because I love them. And it makes our lives so much easier that the two of us work hard, but also just enjoy each other's parents. But we really did put in effort early on to make sure that those familial relationships were strong. So
If that's important to you, then cool. Like all the power to you. Then absolutely I agree with her. But if it's not important to you, then like that doesn't necessarily matter. I'm lucky like I've mentioned before that my spouse is ex-Mormon. Most of her family is also ex-Mormon, so it's not really like an issue where like we have to deal with any type of hate or bigotry from them for the most part. It's subtle sometimes from both sides of the family. Um, but if like they were still very much in the church and they were like, we're gonna, you know, cut you off, whatever, then like that's fine. That isn't necessarily something that is important in our relationship. Now, if I was a person who like family is really huge for me and I am not okay with like not, you know, being involved in my in-laws, you know, being involved with my in-laws, knowing my in-laws, knowing their family and everything like that, then you know, maybe I would say, hey, you know, when we were dating before we got married, hey, this is something that's important to me and I would like to get to know your family or, you know, if that's possible or whatever. But yeah, it's not necessarily a priority for everyone. My dad hearts my husband so much that he's child number one and I was downgraded to number two. I'm cool with this. That's awesome. I kind of feel the same way a little bit sometimes. It's like, um, so my mom had all sons and me. And so she never really had like a girly daughter. And like she does have like daughters in law, but like we live the closest, like physically the closest, me and my spouse do. So like my spouse is like kind of a girly girl, you know? And I think that my mom likes it where she's like, would you like this? Or would wifey like this? You know, and that kind of thing. Because she always wanted to like dress me up and stuff when I was a kid. I was like never down for it. But like wifey's like, yeah, I'll try that outfit or whatever. But yeah, that's cool for us. But like not everybody, that's not a priority for everybody in everybody's relationship. Just saying.
my recommendation to you is make your wife's life easier by trying to get along with her parents. Now, that doesn't mean being a
Make your spouse's life easier by trying to get along with their parents as best you can for what is comfortable for your spouse. Try to make your spouse's life easier by getting along with their parents. Yeah, to a level that is comfortable with your spouse. That's how I would like slightly reword that. Hey kid, does blank want a new song? That's funny. Does Spousey want a new song? That's yeah, that's kind of how my mom is with wifey. Yep. Yep. And I'm always just like, I'll ask her. I don't know. Like or I'll just like hold the phone. Be like, Mama's asking.
pushover if they're not.
We also have a perpetual group message that's the three of us that I think got my mom and my wife like both more comfortable with like chatting with each other, because it was like, oh, they were chatting with a group chat and I was just more like observing conversation because I'm the like most introverted of the three of us. So
not respecting you, if they're not working with the family well, then you don't have to just kind of be a pushover. But
okay,
what I'm
I
saying
agree.
is, in the situations where there's a disagreement, but it's not going to affect anybody's life, just let the disagreement go. Just let the disagreement fly away.
I
Just
agree.
say that you disagree and then change the subject. Don't allow yourself to pick
You don't
fights.
always even need
And
to say
when
that you
do that,
disagree. Sometimes your face can just say that you disagree. I'm just saying.
change the subject. Don't allow yourself to pick fights. And when you do that, if you put in the effort, if you try and find the positives, you may find that you have a relationship with your in-laws that you never would have expected. And
My family is so messed up with interpersonal relationships. Everyone dislikes the in-laws on the other side. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so infuriating. That sucks. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. New follower, destroy all GBTQ1. I'm hoping that's a joke, but we'll see. I'm always up for giving people the benefit of the doubt. We are, as you can see, LGBTQIA plus / GRSM friendly here. But yeah, we are discussing Abby Shapiro. So we're about done though. But thank you for joining us.
your wife will appreciate that. And because I am such a big proponent of
But yeah, it sucks. Some people just like can't get along with their in-laws, and like that's okay. That's not like necessarily your fault.
really investing time in family, I think this one is really important because most women
To
would
her.
like their parents
It's
in their
important to her.
lives to help out and to help with the kids as they're growing. And it will mean a
Not everyone wants kids. Thank you for the follow. Zip26. Oh gosh, it looks like I got a few followers. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Quite a few. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. The username with the running zombie. Well, I'm glad that it made you laugh. As I say, I think it has at least one more to go. Thanks, guys. All right, we'll get back to Miss Abby. Oh. Okay, I think that's the last one.
lot to your wife if you put in that effort. So those were my 5 ways to be a better husband. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips that I didn't touch on today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you
I mean, you can do those things. I'm going to go ahead and link her. Thank you guys for all the follows. Jeez, wow. This is like a big surprise to me. Thank you. Thank you. Was there a raid that came through that I missed? Wowsies. Wowsies. It's incredible, guys. Thank you. Thank you. What did I miss? Where did you guys all come from? Let's see. I don't see everybody in chat, but I am going to probably run and what was that? I mean, I've used the LGBTQ and atheist tags before. So I don't know. I don't know. It's quite surprising. Some of them seem like they might be spam accounts though. So I'm going to have to investigate here after I get off. Because some of these like don't even make sense as far as usernames. Oh, maybe. Maybe. I don't see anybody participating in chat though, so that's what's making me wonder if it isn't like I don't know. Let's see. I mean, like my actual followers count went up, so maybe. But welcome all. Welcome all. I am actually just about to get off and send you guys on a raid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of them are spam. I'm gonna have to like check when I get off. But either way, yay, exactly. He's, yeah. Yeah, he's getting a hell of a workout. I was gonna say he's gonna drop dead, but um exactly, he's just gonna get pumped. This this I feel like this has to be spam. All right. I'm gonna get off. I'm not gonna like wait for the end of this because like it's just gonna keep going, I bet. I bet it's just gonna keep going. We're gonna go raid somebody. Looks like So Passionate is on. You guys down for some arts and crafts? Looks like they're also doing Stream Boss, which I always enjoy. I need to go get some coffee with wifey. I just heard her get up. So I think I'm gonna send you guys over there unless you guys have any suggestions. I'll give it a couple seconds. Um, if you guys have suggestions for where you guys want to head. Instead, if you got friends who are online, um, I'm definitely down with supporting you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Trail of Debris. Thank you. Yeah, some of these just are like, what? Rain Big Neck? Is that Rain Big Neck? This is silly. This is silly. All right, go stare into the abyss. Have fun, Porgnacious. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to send you guys over there. All right, everybody. This is your friendly reminder to keep your arms and legs inside of the carriage at all times while the raid is in motion until you come to a full and complete stop at your final destination.